All right, guys, so we are back today. Let me know how this mic is. This is a different mic. I was kind of re-listening to the stream yesterday and kind of recognized that, the mic, there was some background noise. I don't want there to be too much today. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think. Let me know how the stream's running. Should be running pretty smooth. Um, I added another monitor to my setup as well. Today we got the non-farm payroll report. It's a massive monitor to my setup as well. Today we got the non-farm payroll report. It's a massive monitor to my setup as well. Today we got the non-farm payroll report. It's a massive monitor to my setup. Man, did y'all hear an echo? Or was that just me? Weird. It was like I was listening to the stream and I heard an echo. Very strange. I was just listening to it. It sounds like there might need to be... I might be able to change the settings on this. I'm not sure, but I could also turn it up if you think I need to turn it up. But sound seems pretty good with it. I'm going to manage OBS on this right side. There we go. Yeah, so the echo's gone, correct? The echo was just there when I was listening to it on the back end. It should be gone. Um, yeah. No, I heard the echo, so I turned it off. That's why it's gone, but yeah, we can hear you. Okay, good. And there's no echo, right? Trying to make sure we got it all straight. Yeah, so we should be pretty clean now. Sound should be pretty good. I'm gonna go get myself some coffee in a second. All right, cool. Today we have the massive non-farm payroll report. Massive. This is coming on the heels of the really weak ADP data yesterday. We're gonna pull the market up. Just give me 1 second. And we'll get some music here as well. Nice. All right. We're gonna go way back with some old music. Once I get the music started, let me know how the sound is. Whoa. Yeah, I haven't been put on the wrong end here. I guess I could stick this here. I'll leave that here, I think. Since I can manage my stream on the right end of it. I can put that here. A little bit better managing. Let me go to the old music and we'll put some stock charts up. You see, we're mostly flat in a lot of things today. Like here's Nvidia. Nvidia's mostly flat. 157s right now, hit 158, 780s highs early this morning. You see Apple went up to 213s, came all the way back down. If we take a look at the NASDAQ here. NASDAQ, hitting that 866 level we had on our chart. Not terrible. Okay, so people are telling me that the volume is too low. Let me see, can I turn this up? Check, check. Is that better? I'm kind of slowly turning the volume up a little bit on this microphone. I can probably increase it a little bit more. Hold on. Let me know if that's a little bit better. I'm turning the mic volume up a little bit as well. Let me know if that's good. That should be pretty solid. I turn the music down some, and then I turn the mic volume up. All right, so we're at 23,000. I think is the level on the NASDAQ that everybody's kind of staring at right now. 23K. That level is right here, and I think that's the level we're watching for sure this morning. 23K. Depending on payrolls come in good, bad, positive, negative. Yeah. Let's do a poll here. Does today's NFP report show stronger or weaker payrolls than what's expected today? Remember, today we have jobless claims, unemployment, payrolls. Payrolls expected at 111,000. They showed previously at 139. Unemployment's expected to jump up to 4.3%. All right. We got the poll live as well. Yeah, yesterday was very strange. Like, we ended up going up on weak data, and we really didn't stop either. So here's 9 a.m. So here's 9 a.m. market time. I think Tesla's delivery numbers did help us some. Like, Tesla's delivery numbers shot up, and even Tesla's deliveries were a little weaker than a lot of people thought they would come in at. So we're at a really interesting spot right now. We really are. We're at a spot where payrolls were super weak, but, you know, delivery numbers were okay, and market reacted really positively to it. If we take a look at like yields this morning, if we take a look at yields, yields are down to 4.26%, which long-term interest rates follow yields. So you can kind of see from yesterday, here's the second, starting here, we spiked up. And then we came right back down midday, towards the end of the day yesterday, and then we kind of consolidated around, we're at this 4.26 level. You know, if we take a look at rate cut odds here on the CME watch tool, you know, we take a look at rates. The likelihood that we cut this month has gone up to 25%. So 25% likelihood that we cut rates this month. That's not low. I mean, that's a 0.25% chance. So it's possible we could cut rates. We're at 75% of a pause and 25% likely of a cut. If we delve into September, it's looking almost 99% likely. It's about 96.5% likelihood that we at least cut 25, you know, by September. There's a 24% chance we cut 50 in September. So, or by September, I should say. They think the rates are going to be at 3.75 to 400. They got about 24% chance of that happening, but they think we're at least, most people expect a 25 basis point cut by September. About 73% of people expect that. The short-term level we're watching in the NASDAQ right now is 22,866. And let me fix this. Yeah, so jobless claims are also coming out at 8:30. They are also expected at 240,000, 240K. So we're going to get a really good look at the labor market this morning. There we go. All right, you see all the expected numbers on the bottom of the screen. All right, looking at our votes on the poll, 58%. Those percentages are predictors, but they're pretty Is the volume in my headset not enough? I can turn it up some more, I think. Hold on, let me see if it lets me. Test, test. I mean, I can turn it up more. Like, look. I also have another mic I can use, but let me know if this is good. I mean, I turned the volume up pretty loud now. I have another mic I can use if I need to, though. Yeah, I'll be right back. I gotta go grab some coffee. I can turn the music down a little bit too. So, all right, there you go. I turned the music down. I turned my volume up. That should be better. Looking at our poll, 56% think we're gonna have weaker payrolls, and I think that comes on the heels, like I said, of yesterday. ADP data showed very weak. It showed a negative 33,000 jobs print, which they expected about a positive of 100K, 90K to 100K. So they literally showed up 133,000 worse than expected jobs, which is crazy amount lower than the expected number. Generally speaking, there's not that much of a correlation between ADP data and payroll data, NFP data. They can be up to large differences like 50K, 60K. But even if there is large differences, I still think that because ADP was so weak, it's a bad sign, and it's something that we probably want to tune in for and watch, just based off of how bad those were. You know, it's something we want to watch and tune into. All right, so we do have some breaking news stories. Comes out. Treasury Secretary Bessent says he is meeting with the European negotiators today, warns countries not to drag out trade talks as tariffs can go back to the April 2nd levels. JP Morgan on the president's big beautiful bill says the deficit should rise close to a percentage point between the fiscal year of 25 and 26 to over 7% of GDP and statewide afterwards. We're seeing some news releases there. Better. We should be at 1080p. We're not at 1080p. We're at 30 FPS. Should be at 1080p. Yeah, I mean, we're running at like 4,800 kilobits per second. We should be at 1080p. Let me see. Oh, man. My internet speed should be good enough for this though. Yeah, it's very strange it's not 1080p. I could always change the encoder as well. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but I'm looking at OBS. I'm running at a. It should be 1080p. I don't know why it's not. Oh well. Like if I look at stream, it says my maximum video bitrate's 51,000 kbps. That's plenty. I can up my output here. Let's try. I could have done advanced output mode instead. Like I'll bump it up to 5 kilobits per second and see if that works. As long as it doesn't shut my stream down or something. Okay. Whatever the news is, we go 9% down, then bounced. Yeah, the volume should be pretty good. I got a new mic set up here. What's up, Sam? How you doing, brother? I'm a little disappointed, though. Ah, I see what it is. I see what I said. The setting I have is wrong. It should be output scaled resolution is 1920, and instead I only have it at 720. I wonder if I closed the stream down and started back up. Alright, so it says I can stop the stream, change the settings, and then restart it, but I don't know if I'm brave enough to do that, chat. Oh well. I think a lot of traps today with the data, yeah, for sure, 100%. A lot of traps, a lot of weird, you know. I mean, 720 is pretty solid still, but I would have loved 1080p. All right, so look at this pullback. Let's watch 850s. All right, so freight rates for Russia's ESPO and oil deliveries to China fall to 7-month lows. The EC minutes came out as well. It was argued that 2026 would be an important year because below target inflation expectations could become embedded in wage negotiations and lead to downward second round effects. Dixie. Yeah, I mean the camera I'm using, it's the built-in camera. Let's look at this 850 level. I might buy this dip, honestly. Yeah, I don't know. I'm tempted to try. Hey, y'all hit that like button on the stream. Help support the channel. I appreciate the love. Thanks so much. I'm watching 850. I might buy this dip. What the heck is going on? Is OBS even moving now? Alright, now this is getting weird. Hold on, chat. Alright, this is running smooth. I can mess with this. Oh, I know what it might be. Yeah, what's very strange is that OBS isn't moving at all now. Ugh, so strange, dude. I don't know if I have like an OBS setting up. Let me see. Or what? Are you guys, is the stream running clean? Oh, I see what happened, I think. Hold on. Yeah, dude, I can't even click on OBS. It's very strange now. I mean, at least the stream's working, so I guess I'll just leave it alone. I could always unplug this dual monitor that I have. Let me Control Alt delete it real quick too. Hold on. Make sure OBS is responding. It seems to be. Yeah, we should be pretty good. I might want to like exit out of some stuff here. Hold on. But we should be pretty good. All right, anyways, look at that bounce. We bounced exactly where we bounced, right at 850. Right at 850. Yeah, there's that 850. I should have bought the dip. Stream is good for me. All right, cool. Yeah, we should be pretty clean in there. Let me know if the sound is good. But yeah, chat, we have payrolls. That bounce exactly at 850 looked beautiful. Again, guys, we got payrolls in about 45 minutes. All right, so look at this rip up. We're at 22,863 as of now. 22,863. We just popped over it. The 200 exponential was right here at 859, so we're watching that as well. Yeah, the levels I use, again, I have a video that I uploaded not that long ago that kind of details how I look at these levels. I'm sorry it's making noise, chat, here. It's very strange what OBS just did. So bear with me. I'm gonna undo I'm gonna undo my external monitor, so it might put some stuff on screen, but that's okay. There it is. Okay, I figured out why it was loading, why it was crashing. Okay, I fixed it. Cancel. Yeah, now this works fine. All right, cool. I got it. Yeah, so we have a video that we talked about how we document these levels. I use a mix of like whole dollar levels, like 850, 875. Previous, like if I could find a whole dollar level, like 850, 875, 900, 925, 950, 975, 200. If I can find a mix of that mixed with like previous isolated highs or lows and confirmation. Like an example of it is like, look, here's 850 here. We have this isolated level here that held us support. If you keep going back, you have this isolated here. If you look at it, it's one of the levels I just talked about. It's 850, and so you can see it confirmed it right here as well. So I'm just basically looking back at recent support and resistance, because I think the recent levels are what's still in everybody's mind, if that makes sense. Like, it's the levels that everybody's still watching and paying attention to and wanting to see and all this stuff. So it's what everybody's paying attention to, if that makes sense. And that's the levels that I have on my chart usually, or levels that I think people are paying attention to. They're not perfect, like they're never going to work perfectly, but they work well enough to find some edge, I think, you know. And then sometimes I'll draw a level here and I'll just see if it fits. Like, here's one that fits, 870. Look at how many confirmations there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just in, you know, the last day. You know, the 200 exponential is usually a pretty big one as well. So this 200 EMA right here, usually very relevant. Yeah, today's a big report too, chat. We got the non-farm payroll report. So this labor report, jobless claims, unemployment, payrolls, all that stuff is huge. Like, you see how much the ADP data influenced the market. Now, it did come in wildly under expected. So this data showed super negative. And that's probably why it had such a big influence over markets. But the market ended up eating it up and just flying back. You can kind of see Tesla here. Like, if we take a look at Tesla. Tesla had a big rebound back up too. How far did this go? Yeah, I mean, some of the market rebound might have been from Tesla here, although Tesla went all the way up to 320s, came all the way back down to 305s. Now it's back up to 317. So it did have a pretty good run. Nvidia yesterday did as well. You can see Nvidia and other microchip stocks just ran at the opening bell yesterday. So crazy movement there. Russell lift off. Yeah, Russell moved. Again, 52% think weaker than expected here. All right, are we in sub-only mode? I can't really tell. I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway. Add it to the stream. I can always tell if we're in sub-only mode because it'll tell me. It'll say, you just changed it to sub-only mode. If not, it probably was in there already. All right, so there's a dip. We're at 856 now. So we're starting to dip under that 200 exponential. Do you think futures would go upside if non-farm payrolls is lower than expected? Possibly. I mean, I think if they're really under expected, it's going to cause panic, potentially. So if they're like super low, I think that's bad, and I think that's going to cause panic. But you never know. Like, you don't know what we're going to get, right? All right, so we're heading back down. I'm still watching 850s. Morning, John. You're looking kind today. Thank you, man. NFP is going to be very strong. It's possible they are. big beautiful bill is going to increase inflation. It might. They are pressuring, trying to bully Powell. Yeah, I mean that's kind of how it goes. Every president does want. I'm gonna go grab some coffee. I'll be right back. But every president essentially wants lower rates during their presidency. I mean, it's not an unexpected thing. Like most presidents want lower rates during their presidency. Why? Because lower rates means more thriving economy. And what's one of the biggest bragging points to a presidency? It's thriving economy. So you can't really knock the president for wanting that. I think it's pretty fair for most. I think almost all presidents in history have wanted a thriving economy, and some haven't gotten it, of course, and some have had to deal with other stuff. But I'm not mad at him for wanting low rates. I just worry about inflation. And so I'm a little bit, but I think you could also argue a rate cut too. So I think we're somewhere in the middle. I'm not here just to disagree or agree with anybody. I think you could probably argue a 25 basis point cut a couple weeks ago during the Fed meeting. And I think you could certainly argue one now, especially if payrolls come out today weak. But you never know. You never know. Yeah, I'll get the timer up here. I got you guys. Yeah, we have about 39 minutes, I think. There we go. We got the timer up. We're retesting that 850 level. Let's see if we hold it. I'm going to go grab some coffee. I'll be right back. All right, guys, I'm here. I gotta turn on the open the windows. I'm gonna open these windows here. Fresh air. You can hear the crickets too, which I guess is kind of nice. All right, but yeah, we got 37 minutes, chat. Diddy did win, man. He kind of won. They want low rates to reduce the deficit. Well, one thing that'll reduce the deficit over time is inflation. And if you don't understand that, like, it's pretty simple, right? So inflation is going to reduce the deficit over time. That's just something that's going to happen because it's going to take away the buying power significance. Just like inflation erodes buying power of everything over time, it also erodes inflation as well. And so it's kind of one of those things where it's going to reduce inflation over time, or it's going to reduce debt over time. That's just kind of what it does, but it's also going to reduce everybody else's buying power. So is high payrolls good or bad? I would say right now high payrolls are good, but it's kind of a neutral area. Like, you don't really know, right? Like, I would say high payrolls are pretty good right now. I think in any moment, if the market really fears inflation, sometimes payrolls can have a negative impact. The higher they are, the more negative we get. But I think in this situation, especially with yesterday's ADP data coming out, yeah, I think people are going to start fearing. And let's just say, let's just say we got $10 trillion in debt. That's 10 million, 10 billion, 10 trillion. Let's say you got $10 trillion in debt. And let's say we have a 20-year period in which we have 5% yearly inflation, which is really high, but it's possible. But let's call it 4%. over time, the debt's going to go away. At least the significance of the debt is because of inflation, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 4% inflation is going to cause that debt to get cut in half, basically, over a 20-year period in terms of significance and buying power, because everybody else's income and spending and prices are going to go up, and so it's going to be seen as less significant. Now that's if we, and so in that regard, in that context like this, it does erode some of the debt worries. Like inflation's actually a benefit to the debt over time, if that makes sense. And I think that's usually what they take into context of when they do this. Are we in sub-only mode right now, chat? Can y'all see it? All right, we're here. You want me to temporarily unsub? So we're not in sub-only mode. Okay, I appreciate it. Well, you could sub or unsub. It doesn't matter there. It doesn't matter. I mean, I'm trying to put it in sub-only mode. Let's see if it lets me. It says saved. Yeah, I'm watching it, but I'm watching it, but yeah, we'll see. All right, so look, we're about to hit 850 again. I might day trade. I haven't really traded too much on this account, but we might. All right, here, let me see if I can open it up on the same window. Hold on. Let me try Chrome. I think I have Chrome on here. Okay. Yeah, we're in here. All right, man, look at that bounce again, dude. I wanted 850. We've just been bouncing a little bit too quickly. We didn't quite hit it that time. Or I might have attacked it, but we're just bouncing too quickly here. All right, the European Commission says its impact to AI rules is unchanged. Code of practice to assist firms in implementing AI rules may be in place until the end of this year in 2025. So that news just released. Would this report have an impact on Bitcoin too? It could. We don't know. It sometimes does. I think it's relevant for the economy is why it's important. It's relevant from the what's up, Ernest? No, I'm just joking. What's up, Smart Money? How you doing, bro? Yeah, but European Commission says its impact to AI rules is unchanged. Code of practice to assist firms in implementing AI rules may be in place until the end of this year in 2025. What's up, Freaky Tats? Thomas, sentiment is almost extremely good. Yeah. Um, See, I changed it. Hold on. I'm gonna make it any duration. There we go. Okay, yeah. Robinhood, where's Robinhood at? Tesla up there too. Look at Tesla, man. Who knew Tesla would react positively? Robinhood coming all the way down. Some news just happened with Robinhood or something. Look at Robinhood. Robinhood's dumping down right now. Could be. Yeah, we got 30 minutes left, chat. You can see the timer. Yeah, and once I get home, guys, I'm going to be back home for good. For a while. I'm not going anywhere else, dude. I'm tired of traveling, bro. You saw me. I went to Florida. I'm in Michigan. I like traveling, but I'm tired. My travel setup's gotten pretty sophisticated, though, so it's nice. But hey, what's up? Yeah, we got 30 minutes. So are we expecting much lower today? I don't know what we're expecting today. I think it's possible that we have much lower payroll print because of the ADP data that came out the other day, yesterday. I think ADP super negative. That's not good. That's a scary data release. You know, I don't think that's good. So I think we just got to be really careful and just understand. I think the whole market's been basically flat and choppy since, you know. All right, so look at this pop up. We went right up to that 871 level we talked about, right up to 871. Yeah, we're also in one of our challenge accounts right now. We let me show you. This account, we're very close to getting. We bought this dip. I want to see if it retraces. I might actually add back more to it here, to be honest. But all right, we're in 10 contracts here. There we go. We got 4 left. There we go. Trying to build up a cushion here into this. I wanted to attack this bottom level up to this top level here, and that's kind of what I do with my levels. Is I look for like little ranges here. Look at that. All right, I'm gonna cut it right there. So far so good. Again, Robinhood dipped. I don't know why. AMD at 139s. Google pretty solid up there. Again, Tesla worth watching at 318s. Look at the nasdaq pump. So if we get over these levels, we're gonna have to look at new levels here because I'm sure there's some. I would look at like 75 right here. Like that level. $80 might be one too, but I think we got a choppy range, so we'll see how well we respect these. I swing trade. I do a little bit of everything, to be honest. Robinhood dipped because the OpenAI people clapped back and said that the private stocks they have are not equity. Yeah, that's possible, maybe. There's a selling side order block. Also, the market will hunt stop losses on Bitcoin from 110.5, and that might fall to 108.5. The OpenAI people clapped back and said that the private stocks they held are not equity. Still moving here. Alright, so let's watch A75. I'm keeping an eye on it. Still watching NVIDIA. NVIDIA had a crazy day yesterday. NVIDIA just went slightly green. You can see this previous closing price here. You might hear a slight echo. I'm going to listen to how I sound on this new mic today. Previous closing price here. You might hear a slight echo. I'm going to listen to how I sound on this new mic today. Previous closing price here. Yeah, I mean, I don't think this new mic is necessarily good. It's supposed to be like a stream mic, but I just don't think this mic's very good, huh? Doesn't sound very good to me, no? I got another mic in there. You want me to try that one? I could also switch to this mic. Yeah, I mean, it's okay. The mic is alright. It'll work. I'll fix it by next week. Alright, we still got 25 minutes until payroll data comes out. We got about 1,000 people here, a little bit under that. Again, y'all hit the live button next to the play button. We appreciate it. Yeah, you were hearing me listening to it. Current mic sounds fine. Okay, let me know if it's good. Well, I told you guys there would be an echo. I got another mic I could plug in. And I honestly, the PC mic I'm using isn't terrible, right? So, like, if I switch to this mic, like, watch. The PC mic I'm using that comes straight from my laptop is not bad. Like, watch. Let me change this. So let me know which one's better. So here's mic 1. Let me know which one's better. Here's mic 1. NASDAQ's breaking up right now, but here's mic 1. NVIDIA pushed up to 157.30s, but here's mic 1. This is mic 2, and this mic is plugged directly into my laptop. So this is mic 2. The only problem is that when I type, you can really, really hear it. But this is mic 2. All right, mic 2. The other one was mic 1. And then I also have a headphone mic apparently here that I can use. I also have this mic right here. But this is a headphone mic that I'm using, so I doubt this is going to be very good. So which one's better? Mic 2. See, bro? Alright, yeah, we just switched it back to mic 2. Yeah, we just switched it to mic 2. You know, you're gonna be able to hear some background noises a little bit more on mic 2, but that's alright. Yeah, I mean, this is mic 2 right here. And it's a little bit better of a mic. It's louder for sure. Yeah. I got you guys. Alright. No, this is a AMD Ryzen 9 ROG laptop. So this is just a good gaming laptop that I bought. Alright, so look at us pump up here, chat. We're at 22,877. Hey, what's up? What's up, Russ? Hey, cheers, Russ. Hope you're doing good, brother.
Yeah, you're gonna be able to hear every, like, it's so close. It's the laptop mic, right? So if I type, you're about to hear it on this one, and that's all good. But look at the Nasdaq pump up. So we did have some news that just came out. So the U.S. House of Representative member Norman says the president promised vigorously to enhance the phase out of wind and solar tax credits, according to Bloomberg's Wasson. And so again, the president said he promised vigorously enforce phase out of wind and solar tax credits. So they're getting rid of the wind and solar tax credits. I mean, look, I understand big oil, but I don't think encouraging like healthy forms of energy is terrible either. Now we are incredibly dependent on oil, and so we need oil. And I respect anybody that works in oil because it's tough jobs and they're helping us have energy, and I can respect that. But I don't think the credits necessarily are bad. I don't know. Maybe you guys know more about them than I do. But look at the NASDAQ pullback here. So we're at that 870 level that we talked about. Look at the level. Let's see if we bounce. Yeah, this is mic 2 that we're on right now, chat. Yeah. And look at the bounce, dude. It's really weird how we bounce exactly at my level sometimes. Man, look at that. Even if we continue down, and we break down under 22.87 like this, you can see it respects the level a little bit, which is interesting. This is just a big red pullback here. So Apple iPhone sales in China rose in Q2 for the first time in 2 years, according to CNBC, citing Counterpoint Research. So this is some news that recently came out. We'll put this up in the chat. Apple iPhone sales. I'm curious if Apple's going to be moving here. Yeah, Apple's heading up. Nvidia had a big pullback. That's probably what drove this. I might buy 866 though. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. Sorry. There we go. All right. We're at 866. We're gonna try to buy this up now. There we go. Bounce. Where? 866. And the thing about it, like I've realized this about my levels, is that sometimes we're gonna test them and then continue down, or test them and then continue up. But a lot of the time, they'll make a little pit stop at my levels. And so if I can scalp it for like 5 to 10 ticks like this, that's where the edge comes into play, I think. But it doesn't always work. And I have a bad time waiting for the levels. Like, as we get closer to the levels, that's when I get really interested in the level. So sometimes I need to just be more patient and wait for the exact test. But then in situations like this where we just dump down, I don't know. Market's turning down though. I think I gotta start to liquidate some of this. We're down less than $100 though, so it's not the end of the world. And this is an account we're up over 2K in. But what a red pullback here, man. I'm only here for the info. I pray the scales will fall from your eyes. What? What are you talking about, bro? Scales? Explain that comment. I'm baffled. I don't even know what that means. I can't tell if you're calling me an alien or a lizard or I don't even know. A snake? Me? Bro, I openly tell people I'm terrible at trading. Don't copy me. I don't sell a course. I have one sponsor that I haven't even plugged yet today, which I got to plug. But, if I'm the bad guy in Wall Street, man, I'd hate to see the good guys. That's all I'm saying. All right, chat. Hey, we got 15 minutes. 15 minutes. It's all love. I mean, regardless of what anybody said, I can appreciate you guys. Definitely top 3 lizards ever. What happens if jobless claims show weaker? What do you mean by weaker? So if jobless claims come lower than expected, that's actually a good thing for the labor market. Like, less people filing for unemployment is good. And so if we show up lower than expected for jobless claims, that's a good, optimistic, almost necessary thing. It's a metaphor for being judgmental, scales in your eyes. But in what context am I being judgmental for? I think I was pretty balanced with my oil comment. Like, I can respect people that work in oil. We need oil. Like, it's something we absolutely need, and they produce, and it's a tough job. It's a tough living for most people working in it, and so I can respect the people that do. But I also don't think encouraging other forms of energy is a terrible idea. I think that's a pretty balanced take, honestly. But hey, it's all love here, you know. It's a very subjective thing. Like, what your opinion is there, obviously, you know, it can vary a lot. But hey, it's all good. All right, so we're starting to break down under the 200 exponential here. We got 15 minutes left until payroll data comes out. Okay, Faye, I appreciate it. Yeah, that makes sense. We got jobless claims, unemployment, non-farm payroll data, unemployment data. Unemployment's actually expected to uptick to 4.3%. So it is expected to go up a little bit. And that's in the context of yesterday's ADP data as well. So all right, hey, we got 15 minutes. Bouncing right around that 200 exponential here. We got NVIDIA at 157s. Vincent, stop lying to me, brother. Stop lying. All right, so we're consolidating right around the 200 exponential. Right around the 200 EMA. We'll see if it holds, but right around there. I'm not seeing anything about the beautiful build pass. FDX upgraded at BNPP. PNC downgraded at Wolf. Looking at some other upgrades and downgrades. Starboard Value says it purchased TripAdvisor shares based on belief that shares when purchased were undervalued and tends to engage with Trip management and board regarding opportunities for value creation. People say dumb stuff. You're very neutral. I thought I was pretty neutral, you know. But I think people are just biased really easily. Like, energy is a controversial subject sometimes. You know what's a good show about energy? Landman with Billy Bob Thornton. It's a Sheridan show. It's good. It's good. I like it. I watched the whole first season. There was some dumb stuff in there, but it was also pretty good. Initially, they thought it would pass at 8:30 today, but some speaker is using his magic minute to delay the vote to a couple hours. Interesting. Yeah, people act like I'm some hardcore oil-hating guy. That's not me at all. We need oil for a lot of stuff. We need rubbers. We need plastics. We need, we need fossil fuels. And if we didn't have it, we'd be in a world of trouble. You know. So it's like, but I think also because of that, we should encourage other energy forms, and I think that's pretty obvious. Where's gold at this morning? I'm assuming gold is slightly higher today. No, it's down. So gold is at 33.60s. It's decreasing. NVIDIA at 157s. We're now under the 200 exponential slightly on the NASDAQ. You can put the SPY up here as well. Here's the SPY. SPY is green today at 620s. Where's all-time highs on the SPY right now? 621. So the SPY is sitting basically at all-time highs right now. About 2 summers ago, I predicted that gold will hit 5K by next summer. Yeah, I mean, it definitely did. Gold flew. Or 2 months ago, gold flew last year. I mean, it hasn't hit 5K, just to clarify. Gold 33s. Honestly, gold has gone crazy. I remember people were yelling at me to buy gold at 2K. And I bought a little bit, but I didn't buy enough. I should have bought more. Because now it's at 3,500. It's almost 100% up higher than where it was, you know. Hey guys, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We got non-farm payrolls dropping in about 10 minutes. 10 minutes. NASDAQ still dipping down some here. I made 6,000 from gold today. Hey, congrats, bro. That's great. All right, guys. Here's the breaking hour here. We got 9 minutes left. A little bit over that, maybe, or a little bit under that, but about 9 minutes left. So again, hit the live button next to the play button. If you put it in 2x speed, you won't be delayed, and it'll keep up with the stream. Massive day today, absolutely massive. Whole bunch of stuff coming out live, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Non-farm payrolls, unemployment data, jobless claims data, and more. So just to put this into perspective today, in about 7 minutes, we have jobless claims, non-farm payrolls, unemployment, average hourly earnings coming out today as well. They're expected at 0.3%. Import-export data coming out. We got basically everything consolidated. We got durable goods. We got ISM services coming out at 10 a.m. today too. And so it's a really busy day. We're back down to that 850 level. We got about 7.5 minutes left. So we're watching gold. We're watching Nvidia. Here's the NASDAQ. NASDAQ's testing that 850 level we talked about earlier, but we're getting close here. Again, we got only a few minutes left. This house may be stalling the vote until market close today. It could be. It's possible. And I think we got the FOMC minutes report next week too. I think it's nuanced. Pew. All right, guys. So we bounced right around 850 again here. Look at this. Not quite. It's at like 851, but I'm going to call it 850 because it's close enough. Hey, what's up, Sublime? How you doing, brother? I'm doing good, man. Hey, we got about 1,500 here. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. We're going to cover it as soon as it drops. So hit the notification bell, hit the subscribe button. We got ISM services data coming out at 10 a.m. today. That might move things too. Jolts was actually strong on Tuesday. So was ISM manufacturing data. ADP data was dog poop yesterday. Should have been a negative 33K. That is 130,000 less than expected. 130,000 less payroll, prelim employment change, payrolls yesterday. Terrible. And honestly, what's weird about the market, one of the things I told people, and again, I'm going to cover this again before this report, because what I'm about to say is absolutely true. I've been covering every single major economic report for years and years and years. I've been covering this stuff, okay? Let me tell you a couple things. Number one, you have no idea how the market's going to digest these reports, As you go more polarized in one direction, like if we come in super negative, super under, it's more likely we're going to go down. But we obviously, as of yesterday, we can obviously just rip up the other direction. There's so much variance with this stuff in terms of how the market's going to digest it that you want to just be incredibly, incredibly careful with these reports. That's number one. Number two is that anything could happen. The report can be higher than expected, lower than expected. There's not much of a correlation between the ADP data and the actual NFP data. And so the ADP data can be 130,000 less than expected, and then the actual NFP data can be higher than expected. You don't really know. So just be careful. There's a lot of variance. What it's going to give us a look at is the economy. That's what it's going to give us a look at, is the economy. So just be careful. Here we go. 5 minutes, chat, 5 minutes. U.S. House Minority Leader Jeffries has begun reading from a second binder, continuing his magic minute. So again, U.S. House Minority Leader Jeffries has begun reading from his second binder, continuing his magic minute. I'm just covering news. I'm not really a big political guy, but I'm just covering what's going on with the BB thing. All right, chat. A little bit under 5 minutes. We got about 4 minutes left. About 4 minutes left. Yeah, hit the like button next to the play button. Hit the subscribe button. Apparently my timer is like really early. I don't know, where are we at right now in terms of time? Hold on. Yeah, all right, we got exactly 4 minutes left. Really, it's a little bit under 4 minutes, but we got about 4 minutes left, chat. Not the second binder. Rip until FOMC July. Powell will poo on markets. Dump until September. Hey, maybe. The bill will be a sell to news events. That's possible too. So look, we're in this range between the 200 exponential and this 850 level, which we've consolidated a lot around. I'm going to turn NVIDIA off and put up the SPY here just so we can watch all three of the major things that people watch for these reports. Also, remember, guys, unemployment expected to uptick to 4.3% today. Unemployment is expected to uptick to 4.3%. And so that's something that you want to be weary of as well. Unemployment is expected to get a little bit worse. You can see the 200 exponential reject here. So here's the 200 EMA right here at about 860. Look at that rejection right there. Yeah, prepare but don't predict. 100% V. Absolutely agree. You can react, but just be careful. Jobs market is solid. Maybe, bro. I mean, I don't think the jobs market is I don't know. We're going to get a look at it today. Yeah, we're going to get a look at it today. So just be ready. Today is what we're going to get a look at this. Again, we got services PMI coming out after the bell too. NASDAQ pushing up. We got about 2.5 minutes left. Chat, 2.5 minutes. A little bit under that. Yeah, nobody knows. Anybody that acts like they know how the market's going to respond, you got a 50-50 shot. But I usually think they have less experience because anybody that really watches this stuff regularly should recognize you have no freaking idea which direction the market's going to go, even if you knew what the numbers were going to be. And I think ADP data is a prime example of that. ADP 130,000 under expected yesterday. Market ended green. So you don't freaking know. Here we go, though, chat. We got a couple minutes. Countdown coming soon. Hit the live button next to the play button. Make sure you're fully caught up on the stream. We want a weaker number for more rate cuts. Yeah, that's possible. The market might want weaker data to get increased odds of rate cuts this month in July. It's very possible, too. All right, chat, we got about a minute and 15 seconds here. Here we go. Here we go. 50 seconds. NASDAQ's very tight range here, chat. NASDAQ's very tight range. We still got a minute left here. Yeah, ADP down 33,000 in June. They expected 100K positive, roughly, or like 95 to 100K positive, mercy. So that's what happened. All right, this timer's early. We still got, I'll give you guys an exact amount. We have about 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Hit the live button next to the play button. You can put it in 2x speed. About 30 seconds here, chat. All right, here we go. About 20 seconds. Here we go. 10 seconds. NASDAQ's moving up. About 5 seconds here, chat. And here's the numbers. All right, so payrolls showed up at 147,000, stronger than expected. 147K versus 111K expected. 147K versus 111K expected. Unemployment showed up at 4.1%, lower than expected. 4.1% lower than expected for unemployment. Jobless claims showed lower than expected as well. Everything showed a stronger economy than expected. Everything did. NFP data showed 147,000. 147K versus 111K expected. Unemployment for June showed 4.1%, which was better than the 4.3% expected. So better than expected there. And jobless claims showed lower than expected, showing less people filing for jobless claims at 233K versus 240K expected. Every data point showed stronger labor market versus expected. Every data point. So, wow. Wow, very interesting. NASDAQ pumping up here. I'll put this up on screen, but every single labor point showed a stronger economy and labor market, which is what I said before. Just because look at gold come down, look at the SPY go up, which is what I said. You don't know what this data is going to show up as. Just because ADP data showed weaker does not mean we're going to have weaker data for this as well. Let me put this up on screen, but man, what a shocker, dude. I didn't. Private payroll showed 74K versus 105K expected. U6 unemployment rate showed up at 7.7. Previous was 7.8, so it's lower than that as well. Manufacturing payroll showed negative 7K versus expected negative 5K, so a little bit worse manufacturing payrolls here. Government payroll showed 73. Previous was minus 1. And the unemployment rate showed 4.1%. So, interesting. Really interesting data release here. Yeah, non-farm payroll showed 147. Wow. Crazy. Who knew? And again, I put the data big on screen now, so you can kind of see it as big on screen now. NASDAQ is surging up here, chat. Surging up. Wow. Let's see if we pull back to this 900 level. I might actually buy this dip here. Let's see if we pull back. You know, we're going to try to buy this dip. It's a little risky for sure, but this is an account I think we can justify the risk in. All right, so we're up a lot. There we go. Take a large chunk of that off and then maybe add back to it or hold the rest break even. See if we can get a larger gain on the rest. Maybe add a little bit to it if we retrace some. I wanted to buy at 900. I just didn't quite get the area for it, but that's okay. And again, I'm trading on Top Step's funded account right now. Top Step gives you a 50K demo. Test your skill with it. They have some of the most legit rules in the world. We're going to go ahead and take that off too. We might buy another dip as well. But again, no PDT rule in futures. If you want to learn to day trade, do not fund your own account. You're almost certainly going to lose. Most day traders lose their first couple accounts. For their first few years, most day traders lose. So if you fund your own account, you're probably going to lose 5, 10, 20, 30 grand, whatever you fund in it. It makes no sense. Instead, $50 a month is what the base challenge on Top Step costs. They give you a 50K demo. They test your skill with it. If you can make 3K without losing 2K, a 3-to-2 reasonable ratio. They fund you 50K, 90% split. You get to keep your first 10K prior to the split kicking in. There's also a 100K, 150K challenge, $100 a month, $150 a month. And again, there's no PDT rule, so it gets you around the PDT rule in futures. You can day trade the S&P, NASDAQ, Dow, Russell, and learning to trade in this structured environment makes sense. They're also coming out with a potentially straight to funding option or back to funding option. I heard Michael Patek talk about it on X. That's a really interesting, update coming soon as well. Look at the NASDAQ rip up here. And so it's just a really good way to learn. You're still risking something at $50 a month, but some demo accounts cost $50 a month. You know what I mean? So I think the value's there. If you fail, it's not the end of the world. If you pass it, it's a similar split to funding your own account. No PDT rule. And so again, if you want to help support the channel, they are an affiliate or sponsor of mine. I'm biased because I get paid by them. But I think it's a good option if you want to learn how to day trade. And it's kind of like a souped up demo account, if that makes sense. But I can't guarantee anything, not an investment professional. Here's the link if you want to check it out. Great way to help support the channel. I'll also pin this to the top of the chat. Yeah, gold dumping down, NASDAQ ripping up. That 900 buy was solid. I'd like a little bit more, though. Let's see if we can catch it. I'm going to put this up so I can kind of... There we go. That's a little bit cleaner of a setup here. Stretch the SPY chart out. Look at the SPY rip. Gold dump. I'm still looking at this 900 level. I'm trying to see where this is going to stop, though. I have to kind of go back. Is this all-time highs? Wait. Yes. We are now... We tapped all-time highs just now. The big level I'm looking at, honestly, is 3,000 or 23,000. This level right here. This 23K, I think that's the next really interesting level. And I'm wondering, the closer we get to it, if it will be kind of like a magnet here. I appreciate it dropping. Thank you, brother. Yeah, ADP, it's becoming more and more useless, I think. It's really interesting. Like, this is not the first report. This is like the second report in a row where the ADP numbers show like a really bleak sign. And then the payroll numbers just come in freaking swinging, just way stronger than expected. It kind of fakes everybody out. It faked me out a little bit, but that's why I had that. Like, that's why I prefaced before this report. You have no freaking idea what these numbers are going to show up as. Just because ADP is weak doesn't mean anything. I am not totally convinced. Very worried for people thinking this is good news. Well, it's nuanced, right? So what does this mean? This means it's less likely that we cut rates this month, right? I'm sure I'll give it a little, like a couple minutes to settle. But one of the outcomes from this report is certainly going to be less probable of rate cuts in July, I think. Why? Because we simply don't have weak enough labor market data to have like an absolutely certain rate cut this month or anything like that. I think you could have probably argued one last month, though, for the FOMC meeting, but still, this is probably going to decrease from this report. You never know. You can take a look at bond yields if you want to get an easier look at this, right? Like if we take a look at the 10-year Treasury yield as an example, I'm sure the 10-year Treasury is spiking up a little bit after this report, right? Because that shows a higher interest rate sentiment. It's stronger economic data, right? So like, let's take a look at a one-day chart. I'm sure, yeah, like look at the 10-year Treasury yields. They're spiking up. And if you want to understand the correlation that I'm talking about, it's very simple. If you want to watch where interest rates are going, look at the 10-year Treasury. Long-term interest rates especially. If we get stronger economics that mean we have less of an argument for rate cuts, the 10-year will spike because it has a positive correlation with interest rates. So if interest rate sentiment is less cuts, like a more hawkish sentiment, 10-year will spike. 10-year yields, that is, not bonds. Bond prices will actually be going down right now. So if you take a look at like TLT, I'm sure TLT is falling down a cliff right now. Yeah, like look at TLT, which is a different time frame, but this is bond prices. They're dumping down right now. Because again, as bond prices fall, yields spike, and vice versa. And then if you want to, and then the interest rates and yields follow each other. So bond prices and bond yields inverse each other. Interest rates and yields follow each other. And so if you want to see where interest rate sentiment is, you can look at yields, and interest rate sentiment just spiked, showing less likely that we're going to get cuts, in my opinion. Now, we still got a whole bunch of stuff coming out prior to July 30th this month when the rate decision is going to be, but it's certainly less likely. We do have that 900 pullback here. Should I buy this dip, chat? I'm thinking about it. All right, we're gonna try. We're gonna get a small position in here, very small. We already made some, and we'll take profit quick. But look at 900, bro. My levels are just on point, dude. Even if we don't hold here and come back down, I'm proud of my levels here. All right, we'll add a little bit to it. take that off here. Nice. And then cut it right there. Look at 900, bro. And again, I have a video on how I document these levels. Very predictable. It works incredibly well. Honestly, if I had to describe that video, it's in simplicity. People use too much, they make it too complicated with price action and technical analysis. Everybody makes it too complicated. They're using all these obscure indicators that are supposed to work great. Man, just documenting basic support or resistance based on obvious milestone levels, one of the biggest edges you can have, I think, in technical analysis, to be honest. And it's simple. Like, what levels are we looking at? We're looking at levels where people's eyes naturally pivot to. What levels do people's eyes naturally pivot to? Big whole dollar levels like 22.9, 23, so forth and so on. 75, 50, 25. Those are natural levels that people watch psychologically. And it's all based off of math psychology anyway. Technical analysis only works because people think it works. And so you got to look at what people think. And people like whole dollar numbers. They like big round numbers. They like whole dollars. You also look at confirmation. So if you use a mix of that concept, very simple concept, and then you look at bigger milestone levels, what I mean by that is like longer term highs, like 2-month highs, 3-month highs, yearly highs, all-time highs, of course, which is probably the biggest milestone level. And then you combine that with short-term confirmations, like you look for recent confirmations. You look for it to test the same level 3, 4, 5 times. That means traders are watching it. And you combine all that together and you get these type of levels. Very easy. How do you derive risk and reward based on your levels? Well, I scalp a lot. And so, and even if we break down under it, like, look, how many ticks is this bounce? We bounced from 900 all the way up to, like a 15 tick bounce. So I scalp these levels. So I'm looking for like a 1-to-1 ratio. But it's very easy because like I could buy this here. If we cleanly break underneath this level, I could just get out. And so sometimes it's a little bit better than 1-to-1, to be honest, because, and look at it test 900 again, same level. And so if it breaks down cleanly under the level, I can just cut it. And then if it bounces back and I feel like attacking the level again, I can just buy it back, But again, I'm not an investment professional. I can't guarantee anything. Again, very subjective. Everything's very subjective. Yeah, I doubt we're going to get rate cuts in July. Hey, thank you, Gift. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you, sir. And then, the one aspect of my levels that I forgot to mention here is isolation. And so what do I mean by isolation? I mean, I look for super obvious, like, everybody sees this level. Why? Because it's super isolated and by itself way up here. And so when we get that, what do people do? They naturally look at this level right here, this 937. And so, pretty simple. Mix of isolations, confirmations, milestone, and whole dollar levels. Sounds really complicated because of trading jargon, but yeah, I mean, look, you can look at yields. And yields are spiking up, which shows a higher interest rate sentiment. It means less people think we're going to have less people think we're going to have higher rates for longer is what that means. Yeah, spot gold is down over 1% right now, I think. You can see bond prices fall. Bond prices falling indicates yields spiking. But bond prices are starting to bounce back, and I'm sure yields, if you look at yields right here, yields are starting to decrease a little bit now. So, but they're up. They're still elevated from this report. And not only that, dude, we have, again, chat, remember, we have ISM services data coming out. All right, so I'm going to end this poll. And I'm going to do another poll on rate decisions because I think that's a really good option. We showed 43% think weaker, 41% think stronger, 14% think as expected. When does the FOMC cut rates? All right, so now we're under that 22.9 level. We're going to put July, September, November, plus. And then we're going to have none this year. All right, so when does the FOMC cut rates this year? So is the poll, vote on that poll right now. Thoughts on ETH? I like ETH don't get me wrong. I'm not an investment professional. ETH might crash tomorrow, and I know it hasn't had a good couple. It hasn't had a good quarter. I think the biggest risk for ETH is that Bitcoin is evolving and replacing some of the utility of ETH, if that makes sense, right? Now, I'm not saying ETH doesn't have utility. What I'm saying is Bitcoin's evolving to a point in which if you look at how much Bitcoin has evolved now and you extrapolate that over the next 30 years, are people going to want to use ETH in 30 years is the question. It's the mind. And again, people are so emotional about this. I might be wildly wrong. I might be wildly wrong. And there's still some stuff I do not know or understand regarding all this stuff. So just to clarify, I'm not an expert here. But I think you have to do that kind of mind experiment when you're investing in things. And I think Bitcoin has evolved. They have their own chains now. They have their own stuff. I think that is the biggest risk for ETH, if you ask me. Yeah, I might be wrong. Again, I might be wrong. But if you think I'm wrong, don't just tell me I'm wrong. Explain why, and maybe you'll educate me if I am wrong. Because I hear people tell me all the time I'm wrong about all this different stuff, but a lot of the time they don't explain, and so they might just be tied to the other side of it in one way. Like if you're a big investor in ETH, obviously you might think I'm wrong, and maybe I am. Again, I don't freaking know. I try to be very neutral here, and I try to be able to admit I'm wrong if I am, which I certainly could be. So just take everything I say with a grain of salt. I can't guarantee anything. I don't freaking know. I just try to explain economics to people, help people understand the data, help people understand my trading. I try to tell people the truth, or at least how I see it. And there's always a little bit of, variance with how people see the truth. So it's all good. It's all love. No, smart contracts, again, very useful aspect of ETH. But I guess the question is, what's stopping Bitcoin from eventually creating its own? Yeah. I understand ETH is kind of ETH is more diversified in what it does. It can create smart contracts, and I understand that. But yeah, a lot of devs are building smart contracts on Bitcoin. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. You can't look at what it is now. You got to look at it what it might be in 20 years. The money's certainly flowing to Bitcoin right now. Yeah, I feel you, Jose. That makes sense. You might be right. That seems probably right. Again, there's a lot I don't know or watch for. I'm a big believer. I invest a lot in Bitcoin. Everything else is hard to tell. All right, so look at us come all the way back down here. Well, we're still elevated from this report for sure. We're about to run into some support here. I might buy this dip. Let's try it. We're in 3. Got a little pop here. Nice. I'm gonna try to hold this. There we go. All right. I'll hold the rest break even, see if it bounces back some more. All right, so we had a couple contracts. We took profit, and now we're kind of sitting on this. But let's get up there. I'm going to cut that. We got out flat on the rest. So we made money on that trade. We're basically in a pretty good spot towards the open. Still got 40 minutes left. Crypto gaming. You talk about blockchain games. I don't know, brother. I'm not really super impressed by some of them. I think that a lot of them are hype. They had their run. They had their big bull run, like blockchain games. But I think I wasn't super impressed by them. And again, please understand, we all might have differing opinions, and it's all love if we do. You know, like there's a finance stream. We're gonna disagree about some stuff. You know, but yeah. It's just so, like, people get so. One thing I've learned running a finance stream for years is that people get highly emotional about their own investments. If you invest in Apple and I'm like, Apple sucks, you might hate me, and that's okay. I like Apple, just to clarify. I think Apple is obviously one of the most powerful companies in the world. And if you don't think it is, I think you're missing the point. Everybody has iPhones, to a point at which if you got a Samsung, you're ostracized. I'm a Samsung person, by the way. I got a Samsung, and I've had one. I've never had an Apple phone in my life. But I can recognize the value of Apple stock. Not an investment professional. Maybe it crashes tomorrow, but I think Apple's solid. Your CPU is not super impressed with the operating system you're running. Well, yeah. What's up, Coop? Yeah, I mean, look, I'm sure my operating system right now is trying its hardest. I've got OBS running. I've got TOS running. I've got TopStepX web browser running. I've got about 20 different tabs up right now on a small laptop. This is a small laptop. This is a ROG Zephyrus AMD Ryzen 9 Razer laptop. Very small laptop. And it runs my streams like a freaking champ. It might be a little loud. You'll be all right. Trust me, I know, and is why I stopped going to stock twits. But I get you, and for sure, super robot faced right now, and agree with you. I have no idea what the last part of that comment meant, but cool, bro. I appreciate you. You know. Thank you, sir. Whatever that means. I've never had an iPhone in my life. What's up, Chef? You gotta understand, I come from a programming background. Like I'm a JavaScript front end, React Native developer, and so I've always liked Windows more than Apple, just because Apples are too restrictive. Like I was a nerd when I was I'm still a nerd, just to clarify, but I was a super nerd when I was like 12. I would download emulators and ROMs, Pokemon, emulators and ROMs and N64. Although N64 was always kind of sketchy for ROMs. I think they've gotten better though. I downloaded music, and Apple was a little bit too restrictive for me, so I never really got it. But regardless of whether I use them or not, it's still something in which a large majority of the population here in the U.S. has an Apple phone. Because they don't care about freedom or restriction. They care about ease of use more, which is understandable, right? I don't think we're going to cut rates in July. I think we're going to see less and less probability of rate cuts. So that's what I said as soon as this data came out. I'm sure it's going to take a little while to settle. But yeah. Wow, look at the change here, chat. So look at the change here. So remember, I told you, give this a little while to settle. I'm sure this rate cut percentage is going to decrease. It just decreased 20%. or no, it decreased 80% just now. The odds of a July cut decreased 80% from 25 down to 5. 80% decrease. Now at under 5% likelihood of a rate cut this month in July because of strong labor market data. This is why labor market data is important. Yeah, Slim, what's up, dude? Yeah, I love poker too. Poker was my first love. Before I traded, I played poker. You know. Yeah, I've done some Linux stuff. I've had some VM, you know, pen testing stuff that I've done, but I'm not really good at pen testing. Hey, what's up, Femi? Hey, I prefer my Android too, yeah. Yeah, front-end developers might be on their way out, though, guys. You know, listen, I'm a front-end developer, but it might be on their way out. Just because front-end is the less complicated form of developing, especially relative to, like, back-end. And I think AI is going to get way better over the next few years. I think they'll have prompt engineers and all kind of stuff for programming now. So you're still going to need programmers, but it's not going to be like it was, you know. Now every freaking 20-year-old can create their own application pretty simply with AI. And AI will just walk them through the steps of building it, you know, which is good and bad, you know. It means we're going to have an exponential growth to technology, which is good. You know, we're going to be able to produce and develop a lot more applications. But it's also going to replace some devs 100%. And I think that's very clear. That's very self-evident. It's going to replace devs to a certain extent. You're still going to need them, but you're not going to need it. They're going to be more specialized now. And I think everybody that understands the future of AI can recognize that to probably be true. Maybe there's a chance it's not, but probably it's true. Do you think day trading is far better than poker, multi-table tournament based on win rate? I'm not sure. I'm a tourney player. I like tournaments. I like sit and goes in tournaments. Cash games, like I'll play a cash game if I go to the actual casino. But I get bored playing in cash games on my computer. So I would rather play MTTs, even if the win rate is less, because I think that's just what I've been good at. That's what I've done well in, is tournaments. The last few times I went to the casino, though, man, I was telling somebody about it yesterday. I've been on a freaking heater. The last time I went to Harrah's in New Orleans. The last time I went to a casino, and bro, I sat down at the table, and I'm not that used to playing live poker. Like I'm used to playing on my computer, right? So I go there and I act like I'm sure they thought I was a complete fish. Like I had no idea what I was doing because I didn't know like the different rules at the table and like how you did different things or anything like that. And so I sat down, and so I'm sure everybody's like, okay, we found the fish. And then I just got one of the most beautiful run of cards I've ever seen. Like I got quad aces. The first hand I got was a full house. It was like threes full of twos. And I remember I like doubled my account first hand, you know, because everybody thought I was just some fish bluffing or whatever. And then I got quad aces, and I beat some other guy that had a full house or something, and just had a beautiful run of hands. You know, super lucky. It's not even skill. Like this is just straight good variance. And so I'm almost scared to go back to the casino because I've had such a good run so far live. All right, so look, we rejected 22,009. I still think everybody's looking at 23. I still think everybody's looking at 23. But we have a lot of support, and we have the 200 exponential under this 875 level that I'm looking at. And so you can also see bond prices, which is inverse to interest rate sentiment, getting higher, which means that we're going to, you know, we're kind of rebounding a little bit. If you take a look at yields here. Let me refresh this. Yields are settling down a little bit too after this payroll print. So they spiked up a lot. Current yields are sitting here at 4.32% for the 10-year yield. So that's an interesting nuance too that's going on right now. Yeah, I've used. Yeah, I've built some. Honestly, like, look, I'll show you. I'll put it up here. I don't want to show you guys the code I use, but I have some TOS scripts that I've built. Yeah, look, here's one of them. Let me put it in a longer term, 1 minute chart. Like, watch. This is a script I built. I'm not going to be too specific in what it is, but it doesn't look too bad, honestly. Yeah. So there's one, bottom, top. We got to pull back from it. Those two kind of worked. Yeah, that red one didn't work. That one, maybe. I think if you look at them after the opening bell is what I've figured out. Probably because of liquidity. But, like, look. Called the bottom here. Called the top there. Close to the bottom. Called the top. Called the bottom. Yeah, look at this. Ah, go back. Look at this. Literally called the bottom here, too. Called the top. Look at that. Where'd it go? See, it's hard. Look, called the top, called the bottom. Liquidity's low there, though, so it's hard to gauge. I think there's certain times where you're supposed to use them, and they're not perfect. Yeah, look at that. Called the bottom here as well. Like, look. Yeah, so this script that I built on TOS is pretty solid, honestly. Calls the bottoms really well, calls the top really well. But yeah. Think script. All right, so NASDAQ coming back higher again here. So NASDAQ's riding back up. Look at gold. Yeah, so we had NFP data out. Yeah, so NFP data is out. I'm trying to switch up the stream. We had the labor report. We also have ISM services PMI coming out, so it's a little bit yeah, it's just the mic. Again, I got another mic here I could use. I know it's a little loud when I'm typing, but it's alright. I'm trying not to type that much to make it bad. But yeah, payrolls came in hot. Yeah, we got ISM services data coming in soon too, chat, so stick around. We're going to be day trading the opening bell using the same levels that I'm using here live. Yeah, where's Bitcoin at? Let's take a look at Bitcoin here. Bitcoin reacted negatively to this report. Very interesting. Bitcoin came down from this report. I guess Bitcoin wants rate cuts, maybe. Stimulates lower interest rate means people take out more loans, which means people can potentially buy more Bitcoin, maybe is the argument there. Yeah, so the labor report showed up here, and Bitcoin dropped and then rebounded back up a little bit. NASDAQ's still pushing back up some too, but it's definitely not following the same as Bitcoin. What's bigger, ISM or jobless claims? I would say ISM services and jobless claims are a similar influence. Depends on the day, but I would say they're similar in terms of their weight to influence. Payrolls are bigger than all of them. Yeah. All right, so I did a poll here asking people when they thought we would cut rates. 23% think July. I don't think it's going to be July after this payroll report. I just don't. 49% think September. 13% think November plus, and 15% think I don't know, or not this year. What's up, ID? All right, so we're starting to creep up. We're at about 23,000 right now, 23,000. Look at the SPY rip back up. So I think we might break all-time highs again here, chat. Do you think there's going to be a big crash coming on quarter four after a rate cut? No. I don't think a rate cut is going to make the market crash. No. I think the market wants a rate cut. But who knows? You never know. It's possible. It's possible. I just don't think it's going to happen, but it might. Are you able to tell us your aha moment when you finally understood market movement? Well, I think when you first get started, it's really easy to get wrapped up in like momentum breakouts. Like, let me buy high of the days and short low of the days. And sometimes they work. But I think that's every new trader's kind of bread and butter. And then you start attacking high of the days and you just get dumped on. You just get huge rejections at these high of the day levels sometimes. And you just take big losses. And then you realize sometimes experienced traders are taking profit at the top of the range, which is the highs. Right? And so just blindly buying highs doesn't freaking work. A lot of the time it's going to be the opposite. It's going to be a pretty low edge strategy. And I think the problem that most new day traders end up doing is they end up just kind of continuing to attack a strategy that doesn't work. Because they've invested so much time and energy in it. I think you have to be pretty open-minded about different strategies in trading. Because there's a lot of different ones that work. But if you stay too hyper-focused on one that doesn't work, you'll waste time. And I think that's the biggest mistake. People waste time on one strategy, it doesn't work. They continue to waste time on it until they just give up. Where I think you got to test out different strategies, figure out what your personality is like. Everybody's different. Some people are going to have less patience, more precision, less precision, better risk management, worse risk management. You just got to figure out what you're good at and then, customize your trading system to that. And it takes time. I'm good at identifying levels that I like to play off of. And so that's what I do, Business, AI. So Rocky says, quote, and again, I'm not saying I agree with this, but he says, quote, the market is flashing recession warnings with a fading yield curve inversion, rising jobless claims, and an aggressive rate cut pricing, all pointing to a quarter four sell-off. What do you think? I think we had a negative quarter one, minus 0.5%. And I think if for some reason quarter two turns in negative, then we're going to be in a recession, technically speaking. but I don't think quarter two is going to be negative, and so I don't think we're going to enter a recession now, essentially. I think NFP data is more valid than ADP data, and NFP data shows well over 100K jobs growth, and so that doesn't look like a recession. I think unemployment is low at 4.1%. It's not super above average at 4.1%. I don't think last quarter, meaning quarter two, will be a negative quarter. And what it's looking like now is that this quarter won't be negative unless we get a bad turn of tariffs. Okay, so like if we get some bad tariff news, like July 9th is supposed to be the deadline. So next week is the deadline for tariffs for a lot of countries, specifically reciprocals. And so if we don't get a lot of deals done and the economy turns from that context, then, maybe we're going to be looking at another negative quarter for quarter three. But I don't think that's happening. It might happen, though. You never know. And I think as of now, it's difficult to predict. I don't think it's easy to predict and say, oh, well, quarter four, we're going to be in a recession. In order for quarter four to be in a recession, we would have to have a negative GDP for quarter three, or for quarter two, which I don't think we'll have. And if we get a negative GDP for quarter two, we're in a recession. 2 consecutive losing GDPs, negative 0.5% followed by quarter two, we would technically be in a recession. But again, I just don't think that's the case. The tariffs have mostly to do with all of this, but it's also looking probable that we're going to cut rates in September. And so if we get a rate cut in September, that's going to ease us away from a recession a little bit. There's some lag, but, it's kind of up in the air right now. Yeah, I don't think quarter two is negative. I think right now Atlanta Fed GDP has it at 4% for quarter two, which they're wildly inaccurate, but I don't think they're that inaccurate to where they have it projected at 4% and then it's going to show up negative. I just don't think they're that inaccurate. I don't really trust them at all because they're so inaccurate, to be honest. No offense, Atlanta Fed GDP now, but yeah. I think I'm looking at 925s here as well in the NQ. Yeah, I mean, you could always isolate one sector of the economy and say, see, this is bad or this is bad, and that's pretty universally true. I think the big ones you got to look at are GDP payrolls and unemployment, though. Yeah, the news is already out. It's in big white letters here. Look right here. It might be right there. I'm not saying it is, but just a weatherman at in this general area, you'll see payroll numbers. We had a rolling recession in 2022. Yeah, I mean, we had 2 consecutive losing GDP quarters, but we bounced back pretty quick. The next quarter after that was positive, so you call it a little mini recession, I think, is justifiably. I'm tired of seeing stocks like MicroStrategy keep going up when they don't even make real money. All they do is hold Bitcoin. Yeah, but I mean, that is mostly based off of the price of Bitcoin. and not completely, of course, but it correlates at least some with Bitcoin's rise. It depends on where everybody projects Bitcoin to go. That's what they're basing it off of. Isn't that a bearish number? In what context, Jay? J-Rod. Anybody hear about the scandal with J-Rod and Jiu-Jitsu at B-Team? What a crazy, thing that he did. I'm not even gonna go into it. But J-Rod, that dude's freaking weird. Great jiu-jitsu guy, but they booted him out of B-Team quick. Not you, J-Rod. Different J-Rod, by the way. Nicky Rod's brother is who I'm talking about. Bitcoin makes money? Yeah, for sure. That's probably what it is. Yeah, we got the opening bell coming live soon. And then again, remember, we got services PMI coming live at 9:45, and then ISM services at 10. ISM services being the much larger, more important, more relevant release here is ISM services. So stick around. 14 minutes. Market open live. Why'd you delete that one, Pawn? Oh, wait. Hold on. Just let me make sure I didn't. Yeah, why'd you delete that one? Is there something you saw about that? So it's the B cycle is really a legit thing. It was created by Samuel Benner. It's a historical market cycle chart that predicts market movement based on past cycles. It references historical market cycles from 1780 all the way up to 1872 and makes predictions extending into 2059. It identifies panic years, years of hard times, and years of prosperity. It's used to analyze major financial events such as the Great Depression and validate forecasts since 1924. Oh. Yeah, Nightbot went rogue there, Lenny. I don't know what it was doing, but hey. I'm trading on 5-minute and 1-minute charts. It just depends. I'm looking at these support and resistance levels that I've drawn on the chart, so those are what I'm watching and basing my trades around, so I use a little bit of both. I'm going to switch to our actual funded account at the open. Well, markets closed July 5th. All right, chat, we got 12 minutes until the market opens. Yeah, market's closed Friday. Closed tomorrow as well. Yeah, today's a half day, so the market closes early today, remember. We're still getting volatility from all the reports coming out, and so It's an interesting day. I'm just seeing if we're going to push up to retest highs today. I think that's the most interesting concept today leading into the opening bell is does the market push up and test all-time highs? And I think it could. Make sure you check out our Discord. There's the link right there. You can also follow me at Beginner Trades on X. I post all the breaking news live there as well. So at Beginner Trades on X. Appreciate the love. Thanks so much. It's been a fun time growing here. We're almost up to 4,000 followers. So kind of consolidating in markets right now. You know, we got the SPY here. We can look at like treasury yields right here and see that yields are elevated from this, showing higher interest rate sentiment, but we're kind of been stagnating back down. Let me get some music rolling here. My bad, guys. Yeah, I was supposed to have Mitch on the stream today, but because we're only in, so he'll be here tomorrow. No, he'll be here next week. So we got ISM and regular services PMI. You are professional? I would say I'm the top 3 most professional looking people in the world right now. But am I a financial or trading or investment professional? No. Not liable if you lose money. Always make your own assessment. Trade smart. Can't guarantee anything. Don't copy me. I might lose. Sometimes I trade off stream and lose. That's definitely true. Don't copy me. Not an investment professional. I'm not liable if you lose money. I can't guarantee anything. I don't even claim to be a good day trader. Don't copy me. You don't swear every 5 minutes, which is nice. Yeah, not until I turn the stream off. Tell my wife that, because every time I curse, my wife is like, John, shh. You know, y'all don't hear me off the stream. Honestly, I don't know if there's a correlation. Like, I curse pretty regularly when I'm not streaming. I've never heard either of my children say a curse word ever. My son's 11, my daughter's 16. Never heard them curse ever in my life. Now, I'm not naive. You better believe when I'm not around, I'm sure, especially my daughter, she's probably cursing up a storm. You know, my son probably is too. But at least they have the respect enough for us to where they don't curse in front of us, so I can appreciate it. Yeah, there's so much variance in trading is the problem. There's so much variance. Like, it's why I always tell people, the people who are the most confident in either, like, in a direction, especially, like, pre-economic reports, are usually the least experienced. Some of my best trades people make fun of the moment I enter them, and they turn out to be wildly successful, and then the people making fun of them are just kind of silent, right? And it's because they don't understand variance. Like, variance is very high. You might have an edge, you might not have an edge, but variance is high. All right, let's see if this 925 level rejects here for at least a little bit. If we move up over this, though, it looks like a pretty strong bull flag, to be honest. But let's see if 925 right here rejects. Is my Discord link not working? Here, I got you. I'm kind of MIA on our Discord, guys. It's not that. I'm just traveling right now. I've been traveling all summer. Pawn should be there, though. But here, if you want to... Here's the Discord link. Here's an updated one. Yeah, Kevin, you might be a little delayed on stream, brother. Hit the live button next to the play button. Yeah, I trade the NQ mostly. Yeah, but Ed, I'd rather be safe than sorry. You know. I'd rather be safe than, you know. Like, honestly, like, running a YouTube stream like this is a great business. It really is. Shout out to YouTube. Gives me a place that I can talk about things that I'm passionate about. People can appreciate my content and watch it, and I can make money doing it. It's a beautiful thing. It really is. But I'd rather be safe and tell people I'm not an expert. I'd rather just be honest with people, right? Which is, I'm not an expert. I'm not a professional. I have no idea which way the market's going to go. I have no idea which way a trade is going to go. And I'm not here one of the people that are genuinely acting like they're the greatest ever, because I'm not trying to sell a course. Like, I have no need to lie to people to sell a course. I'd rather just be real with people, and if I'd rather set the bar low, and if I outperform that low bar, cool, you know. And so that's how I'd rather be, you know. I make enough money on the back end where I don't need to sell a course, and so I'd rather just make everything free, tell people I'm not an expert, and let people decide. Yeah, we're right at all-time highs again. Kevin, it looks like you're still back with the script I used. Hit the live button, brother. So TOS has its own language. It's called ThinkScript, Kevin. That's what the script that I have is in. It's in ThinkScript. It's pretty similar to Python. Really, I know Python. I know JavaScript. I know React, which is it's not a language, but it's a framework. But if you look, if it's in TOS, it's a ThinkScript code. I also know PineScript as well. Yeah, my Discord's free, my stream's free, you know. Even becoming a member, like, you get these beautiful emojis. Like, look at me, my wife Carol, my dog Rosie. Beautiful emojis, you know. I would say that's worth $5 a month, but you don't get anything extra. Like, I have no member exclusive content, because I told people I wouldn't charge for my content, and I feel like sticking to that. So. This is Top Step X. And again, if you want to check out Top Step, a beautiful way to help support the channel. There's no PDT in futures. You can day trade the S&P, NASDAQ, Dow, Russell. It's very similar to day trading stocks. Like, it took me a long time to go to futures because I didn't realize how similar it was to day trading stocks. You can't day trade individual stocks, but you can day trade indices like the S&P, NASDAQ, which is filled up with stocks, so the patterns are similar. No PDT rule. Top Step, you can get started for $50. If you pass the test, you get a 50K funded account, 90% split, and they pay out hundreds of millions. They fund thousands. Some of the most reliable payouts in the game. And it's just a beautiful way to learn as well, because you can get started for $50. You're still risking something, but you're not risking 5, 10, 20, 30 grand most of the time. But again, I can't guarantee anything. I'm biased because I get paid by them. But it's useful. It's useful. And again, I'll put the link up if you want to help support the channel. You can also find it in the description. Understand CFTC 4.41. I'm biased because they're a sponsor of mine, but genuinely useful. You can see it pinned at the top of the chat as well. I'm Jeremy Powell, his replacement. Futures markets closed early today, closed tomorrow. You can't say you are a professional. I don't know if I'd take Powell's job if I could. He makes $200,000 a year. All right, look, we're testing all-time highs here, chat. That's not that much. $200K a year to be the FOMC chairman? Bro, you better hit me with a mill, you know? You know how much heat he gets? Everybody's blaming everything on him. Look, so market's breaking highs right now. Market just broke all-time highs. Up to 22,940. We're only about $60 away from 23,000, which I think is the big level here. Could be a liquidity grab right now. Well, he was a hedge fund man, or no, he was a fund manager. Powell. Prior to becoming the the FOMC chairman, he was a fund manager. That's how he made all his money. Bro's making big boy money to call $200K a year not enough. Bro, $200K a year is not enough for me to be FOMC chairman. Honestly, I'll lie. I'd probably do it. I'd do it for $100K, to be honest, just because of the publicity. Like, you could basically do that and then get paid for speaking arrangements for the rest of your life. right? So like there's an argument for it for sure. I'd probably do it for 50K really, because of the amount of sway I would have after doing it. But the base salary could be better for somebody like that. 200K is not that much in the grand scheme of things, considering like how much. There's the opening bell. Let's talk about it. Nasdaq just broke all-time highs. Okay, yeah, we got the S&P and composite PMI release. All right, so S&P. There's the opening bell. Nasdaq's breaking all-time highs at 950. I think 23K is kind of like a magnet right now. I might buy some dips. Look at the SPY rip. Look at NVIDIA rip at the opening bell here, chat. We're running right now. We're moving here. Look at this. 960. $40 away from 23,000. Look at NVIDIA rip. SPY ripping up. Yeah, look at this huge push here, chat. We're at 22,970 right now. $30 away, $40 away right now. I need a dip, though. Like, feed me dips, market. I need it right now. Like, we're so close to this 23,000 level. That's the level I'm looking at. Here's 75 right here, though. 75 might reject it, too. Like, let's look at it. Here's 75. We're flying up, though. All right, look at the SPY, 623s. Still testing 75, 80. We're right past it. Oh, dude, I need to buy a dip here. I might not get a chance to. I think the market wants 23K right now. Alright, so I just made another $100 on that challenge account that I'm trading. Alright, so look, we're up there here. I think the market wants 23K. I'll look for a pullback to buy. Hold on. I'm going to start to buy this. Definitely volatile. I don't usually buy it this close to the opening bell, but I think I can probably add to this and get something. There we go. Maybe add to this. There's 4. All right, so we're in 4 micros. There we go. We're right here. Let's see if we pop back up there. Yeah. There we go. All right, so we just made a nice little bit in our funded account. I think we're so close to 23,000. We might pull back for a little while, but I'll give it this time. I just think everybody recognizes 23K, and that's what they kind of wanted to break. We have like a small period between ISM and regular services PMI coming out. Regular services comes out at 9:45. ISM comes out at 10. So we pop back up. Yeah, we got the ISM services data. I'm wondering if we're going to get some type of influence here from this. I'm trying to rip back up here. Got the bounce. There we go. I want to see if we make that push towards 23K, which is what I think we want. I think the market wants 23K. Very close to it. It's kind of like a magnet as we get closer to it too. Like here's 23. We get a dip down to 75. I'll buy that in my funded account. All right, there's the little retracement. I think it's gonna pop right back up. Yep. Give it a chance. I wanted 23,000. Look at the SPY rip. All right, so we're back in 2 contracts here. All right, we took half off there, locked a little bit more in. Look at where we bounced. We did bounce right at that 975 level too, but kind of retracing. Maybe I could add to this. There's 2. Take 4, 6. See, we pop right back up. Yeah, not really what we wanted, but close. I'm gonna add a little bit to it, take some size here in my funded account. Here we go. Nice. We got 5 contracts left. Here we go. 2 left. We'll let this work a little bit more. We have less risk. I don't like that break. I'm going to start lowering my size. We only have 1 micro left. Look at that retracement back up. I want to give it a chance to run to 23. That's what I want to see, but it's so hard to tell what it's going to do. I will add to this here, see if we pop right back up. There we go. Take that off. There we go. More. I start lowering size too because it keeps retracing back up. I think we'll cut it right there. So we're still green on the day, but didn't quite get over that 23,000. We'll see if we get another test of it too that we can buy in on a pullback. Is kind of what we want. We get a deep enough pullback here down to that 950, 960 level. We'll buy that too. Try to buy down here. Take 2. Maybe take up to 4 here. I'm not going to take more than 4. Just want to see a quick retracement up. We got 3 right now. I am going to cut this within the next 7 minutes though. I'm just not going to do ISM services data and regular services. We cracked that low. I want to see if this is a liquidity grab, but I get a little second. Alright. A little bit larger than I wanted to take here, but that's alright. Oh no, I bought more. I wanted to cover. That's better. I'm gonna take that off there. I don't want this to get balled up too much. We're close to flat on the day. We agreed. Do people think ISM services are going to be bad? It's possible. Yeah, we'll switch. We're down a little bit now, but it's alright. Let's see if we can pull this one up now. Look at the red show up. Is this red pullback gonna stop? Yeah, keeps going. Let's pull up this one. I do expect this to get bought up sometime, but you never freaking know. And ISM services could bump it back down. There's the buy up. I'll take a piece off there. Nice. Take that off there. I'll hold this close to break even if we can. There we go. Cut that. Still pushing up. We'll get out there. Look at NVIDIA. So a lot of this is from NVIDIA falling down. The SPY's pulling back some too. We got 3 minutes before regular services PMI data chat. So we got about 3 minutes. All right, so there's the buyout. We did get a bounce. Let me catch back up with the chat. Yeah, I still think we're gonna bounce back, to be honest. But you never know, man. We could do anything. There we go. Unload a piece of this. Cover that there. We're up 500 on this one, but all right, chat. We got 2 minutes left. I'll probably stop and wait for the services data to come out. Services data is pretty huge. Good morning. Okay, guys, we got less than a minute before services PMI data comes out. Services PMI right now is expected at 53.1. Yeah, there's the buy up that I wanted on this. But yeah, so we have 15 seconds until services PMI data comes out. 15 seconds. And there's the big buy. I thought we would retrace back up. I think that made logical sense. We got about 5 seconds left. Hit the live button next to the play button. Make sure you're fully caught up. So services PMI expected at 53.1. It ended up showing up at 52.9. A little bit weaker than expected. I don't expect this to have much of an influence, though, just because it's basically as expected. 52.9 versus 53.1 for services data. All right, so we're retracing back up here. All right, so let's see if we get a move up here to retest 75. Again, ISM services data is coming out pretty soon. Regular services showed slightly weaker than expected, but it wasn't a lot. There's NVIDIA ripping back up here. Let's see if it continues. Yeah. Let's try to get back up there. I might buy this little retracement. See if we start heading back up to test. That's what I want to see us get to. We got a very large cushion on this account on the day, so I want to give it a chance to break that level. That 23,000 is what I'm looking for. All-time highs. Close. We took a piece of this off. We might add a little bit more to it. I just hope my level 75 isn't going to reject it and play against me here. I was hoping we move back up. NVIDIA's starting to fight its way back up too, so we might add to this dip. There we go. 20. And then we maybe add another little pop here. Give it a chance. See if it retraces quick. There we go. That didn't hold. We'll add one more to this. Keep it pretty tight. See if we bounce up fast. I'm going to take some size off up here because that'll help me like eliminate some of this risk. It's a little bit too high of risk for me, to be honest. I don't want too much risk right here. And we're going to add it back. It's a quick drop, though. My level actually worked against me here, but that's all right. Again, we're very green on this account of the day, so we could lose a bunch here and be pretty set. See if we can add to it, get a quick little pop back up. There we go. We're actually slightly green here. Nice. We're going to start taking profit. Nice. 10 contracts left. Give this a chance to run. There we go. Try to hold this break even now, but I want to give it a chance to go up there. NVIDIA's trying to fight there. It's kind of cup and handle looking like pattern. I'll take that at the top of the range. I think it wants 23,000 is what I think it wants. SPY just broke highs. 623.86, new all-time highs on the SPY. Interesting. I expect this to make a push. Yeah. And we'll take another piece off up there. I'm going to add back to this now, see if it makes a run. That 975 level we drew has been kind of treading against us here. So there you go. Alright, we're going to cut it about break even there on the rest. So we're up about 6 on the day, which is good. Jobless claims are already out. They showed up as they showed up 140 or 100 and they're out already. I can't remember what they showed up as. They showed up at 233,000, 233K is what jobless claims showed up as. 233,000. This was less than expected, which is good. It means less people filing for unemployment versus expected. They were expecting 240. They showed 230K, roughly. We need more downside. Yeah, but the NASDAQ's breaking all-time highs, so is the S&P right now. So it's the momentum's against the downside right now for sure. SPY hitting 2,000 at this point, maybe. I'm still kind of interested in buying this dip here, but we got 9 minutes, so I can't really, like, I'm not going to be able to hold on too long. I'm going to buy this dip and try to scale in on a pullback here. The problem is NVIDIA. Honestly, NVIDIA is pretty flat. I don't know if it's waiting for ISM services to come out, but whoa. Okay, well. We just got funded in one of our accounts. So that's good. Quick little funding. We're testing that 23,000 level right now. Look at the NASDAQ run. Just where did it go, guys? Remember, we talked about this level all morning here. Where did we go? We went to 23,000. I hope you can understand the psychology of what I'm saying with technical analysis. Because, yeah, psychology, it makes sense if you look at it. We almost got to 23K. I'm going to buy this too in one of my accounts. Wrong account. I'm going to buy this dip here in this account. I think we're going to get a retest at 23,000. At least short term. Maybe not. And again, check out Top Step. Great way to help support the channel. No PDT roll in futures. They give you a 50K demo, 100K demo, 150K demo. If you pass the test, you get funded. Same amount, 50K, 100K. 50 bucks a month is the base one, the 50K one. 90% split once you're funded. You get to keep your first 10K in profit. Just a beautiful way to learn how to day trade because you're risking something, but you're not risking 10, 20, 30 grand like a lot of day traders do. And they fund thousands. Some of the most reliable payouts in the game. They pay out millions, fund thousands. Zero commission if you use their native platform to Top Step X, so the edge is even higher. No PDT roll in futures, get you around the PDT roll. Just a great way to learn in a structured environment. You can check out the link pinned at the top of the chat, as well as in the description. I might add down to 975, but I think we're going to retest 23,000 pretty soon here. Yep. I'm going to add to this. It's a little greedy maybe to add here in this one, but take a little bit of profit off there and then maybe add back on a dip. There we go. Alright, chat, we got 6 minutes until ISM services. 6 minutes. Yeah, price action is fun. I think we want 23K. We didn't quite hit it. And so I think Trader's OCD is going to make us at least break it. We might break it and then dump down, but I think we're going to at least test it. That's why I'm taking some size here. There we go. We're at it now. All right, I'm going to take some off here just to protect it at leading into this level. There we go. Take another piece off. Still moving up there. Still moving. Take a little bit more off there. So look, we just tapped exactly 23,000, which is, and the NASDAQ all-time high is now 23,000. We just tapped it. S&P broke all-time highs just now again. SPY's up to 624.50. We're going to go ahead and unload the rest of this long, so we made some money on that trade too. And let's see if we reject here now. A lot of the time we'll tap these big levels and then we'll immediately come back down because so many people are taking profit at this, like 23,000 is a big whole dollar level, so people take profit at those levels. So a lot of time we tap that level and then we get a big surge of selling pressure because everybody takes profit. So I'm done with the 23,000 level, to be honest, just because we could get a big uptick of selling pressure now. So I would just be careful. Remember, not an investment professional. Y'all be safe. We got 4 minutes until ISM services as well, so the variance is a little bit higher now. So just be careful, guys. Hey, later, Sam. Have a good day, brother. Apple broke. Bitcoin inching closer to all-time highs. Yeah. Again, we got still pushing up here, chat. Still making moves. Alright, chat, 3 minutes before ISM services. We're still testing 23,000, which is the all-time high on the NASDAQ. So we're testing that level again. Technically, it is 23,003, but we're right up close to it now. Again, I'm done messing with it just because we're too close to ISM services PMI data coming out at 10 a.m., and that might move things, especially in the wake of higher than expected payroll data, so better than expected economic labor report data. 147,000 jobs in June were added, and they expected less than that, as well as the ADP data was much weaker. It was at negative 33K on Tuesday, so kind of some contradictory payroll reports this week, but stronger than expected. And I think with that, people are going to be paying attention to the services data coming out today. So again, services data expected at ISM 50.8, slightly above 50, which means an expansion in the services sector. If it's over 50, it's expansion. If it's below 50, it's contracting, and the more below 50 it is, the more of a contraction in that sector, which is in this case services. So it comes out, and it comes out in 2 minutes, less than 2 minutes, about a minute and a half. So it's almost out. We have actually about 1 minute left, to be honest. So hit the live button next to the play button. Make sure you're fully caught up on the stream. We appreciate it. Let's see what services show up as. Yeah, well, we broke all-time highs. We broke the big milestone 23K, and so with that, like I said, my hands are kind of off after this. Like at that point, we've done the momentum that I wanted, and we've used it to profit, and now I just want to just kind of chill and wait. And some of these are challenge accounts, and some of these are funded accounts. Okay, we have 20 seconds left, or less than that. We got about 10 seconds left, chat. Here it goes. Here's the data right now. So the data's coming out right now. It's expected at 50.8. It ended up showing at 50.8 exactly as expected. Non-manufacturing prices were a little bit lower than expected, but this showed up as expected. Factory orders came in higher than expected at 8.2%. ISM services PMI data showed up at 50.8 versus 50.8 expected, and then ISM manufacturing prices, non-manufacturing prices for June showed up at 67.5, slightly lower than expected. And the market liked it because the market just ripped up on this data. It's at 23,015 on the NASDAQ. The S&P 500, or the SPY, is at 625s roughly. S&P is currently at 6260s, so slightly better than expected. So slightly better than expected here. But yeah, I'll put this data up on screen. So ISM manufacturing data showed, yeah, it's 50.8 as expected here. We'll put this up on screen. But basically, this came in flat. The market liked flat though. So I'll put this up on screen. All right, so there's the data right here on screen. You can kind of see it. So there's the data. NASDAQ is pumping up right now too, so I'll keep streaming for a little while since the NASDAQ is moving up so strong. I'll put this data up on screen as well. I'll put it on top of the payrolls, unemployment, and all this stuff that showed up today. But there it is right here. NASDAQ is still moving up at 23,020. S&P broke all-time highs. Look at that. It's at 62, 68, 50 is the new all-time highs. But this candle is all-time highs on after the services data helped the market. We are ripping up over all-time highs, 230-30s. S&P broke all-time highs. NVIDIA is right around all-time highs as well. So NVIDIA is another one you want to watch. NVIDIA all-time highs are 140 or 159.50 roughly. It's at 159.12. So NVIDIA, if it gets over this level right here, is breaking all-time highs. So all-time highs on NVIDIA here exactly. So this red line is exactly at the all-time highs for NVIDIA. So interesting. Yeah, I'm sorry, Mars. It's just I have another mic here. Like, look. I mean, you can tell me which one you like more. Here's mic 1, or here's mic 2. So this is mic 2.
But I can switch to this one, and this one might be a little bit better. But I think this one sounds more robotic. But I can switch to this one if it's better. It's definitely less noisy than the other mic I'm using. But the other mic quality is better. So this is mic 1. The other mic is mic 2. Which one do you guys like? This one or the mic 2? Right, exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. This mic sucks. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm trying over here. I got another mic too. I'll go grab it, but yeah, Mike. Everybody's like, go back to mic 2. I know. That's what I'm saying. I told you guys. This is mic 1 right here, and then this is mic.
All right, so this is mic 2. This is the one that picks up all the noise, but it's a better mic for sure. Yeah, I'm back. Am I crazy if I start shorting this? You know what? I'm going to start establishing a short position here. We've been only long today. I don't think we've shorted at all. This is a challenge account, by the way, so the risk, if we fail this, it's not the end of the world. But I'll play with it. We'll see what we get. I think we're just up a lot. I think it's time to pull back. But who knows, man. Momentum's against me for sure. Alright, we're at max size in this account. I'll give you guys something to watch. We'll play with this and see what happens with this, and then yeah. The problem is NVIDIA, though. I didn't think about this context of the stream. The real problem is NVIDIA pushing up to all-time highs. I think that's a bad thing to trade against, so let me start limiting some of this position here. Alright, we're flat right now anyway. Let's see if we get a dip into it, though. We're close. The problem is NVIDIA. If NVIDIA starts shooting up, that's when we're in trouble. Here we go. We're green. Yeah, the problem is that NVIDIA's getting balled up here. I'm going to cut this. We're down a little bit, but I want to see NVIDIA get up to all-time highs. NVIDIA all-time highs are right here, so I should have been buying this too. It's alright. Like, again, it's a challenge account, so it doesn't matter too much either way. Here's NVIDIA. I guess I'm going to buy the market now as NVIDIA. This is kind of a risky trade. I'm kind of switching sides. But I think NVIDIA is about to make a test to all-time highs. And so with that, I might as well try to capitalize on the momentum. And if we fail again in this account, it's not the end of the world. Here it goes. I'm going to go full size into the NVIDIA all-time high test, which is basically right there. All-time highs of NVIDIA, we're at 159.30. And again, do not copy me in this, because this is a challenge account, so if I fail this, I'm out $50. It doesn't matter. And I'm just trying to capitalize on NVIDIA going up to all-time highs. That's what I'm doing here. There we go, we're green. There we go. All right, we're going to start to take profit. NVIDIA up there. There we go. NVIDIA getting close. NVIDIA's right there. I'm going to go full size again here, to be honest, because I think NVIDIA's right there and it wants to break it so bad. So NVIDIA's not quite there, but I think it's about to go there. It's so close. We're green. There we go. Almost there. NVIDIA's right there. I think it's going to make a push right now for it. We're going to add back on a pullback if we get it. We're already up a lot on this trade. We liquidated 90% of the position. Here's NVIDIA. We'll leave it like this. Alright. 4 contracts left. Yeah, Nvidia's up there. Exactly what we thought would happen happened. And I'm going to go ahead and cut this up there. There you go. Sometimes you get in really predictable moments like this. Like if Nvidia gets within like a tiny range of all-time highs, the probability that it's going to break is super freaking high. Like it's so elevated probabilities of high breaks as the closer you get to them without actually breaking them. Once you break them, the edge disappears because we could just dump down 10% afterwards because everybody starts unloading. But yeah, not too bad. Yeah, you're just hearing cars pass by. Somebody saying I'm bald? No. Bro, I got too much hair, bro. Look, I'll take my hat off. I got too much hair right now, dude. My hair's crazy. I need a haircut right now. Definitely not bald. Look, I got too much hair right now. It's hot with this hair. It's hard to look good, guys, you know? Yeah, I hear you, Dedicated. I got you. I'll work on that next time, brother. All right, Nvidia broke all-time highs. It's a wig. I'm not against wigs, but I got my dad's here. My dad, they say it comes from your mom's dad. I think that's nonsense, though. Because I've seen a lot of people who, like, my mom's dad was bald at 25, and my hair is so thick right now, it grows so fast, it's a problem. I'm just glad I have hair. But yeah. I got my dad's hair, and my dad's 70-something, and he still has hair. He's still got a full head of hair, really. Still pretty... You know, his hair's still pretty solid. Yeah, see, that's a car passing by. You hear that? That's a car passing by. Your mom's dad really determined. See, that's an old wives' tale, though. I think if you look at what scientists think, Rish, they actually disprove that. Like I'll put it this way: if you look at my dad's hair and you look at my hair, they are exactly the same. Like my hair's curly. My hair is thick and curly and dark. My dad has very thick, curly, dark hair at 70-something. You know, so I absolutely 100% have my dad's hair. My mom doesn't have really any hair on her side that's like mine. You know, maybe not. I mean, I could see it coming from maybe my aunt has dark curly hair, but. All right, we're still breaking all-time highs, guys. We're at 23.60. 23 and 60. I think Nvidia might want 160 too. I mean, market's up too much for me to buy it again. I wanted to attack that Nvidia all-time high break, which we did. We got a lot of edge. We made some money. But at this point in time, I'm just waiting here. Yeah, it's a crazy run, man. What's crazy up today besides Nvidia? Well, I'm sure the SPY is. Apple is. Google's down a little bit. Tesla's flat. AMD's down. Amazon is. Netflix is. What else am I missing from the Mag 7? We got Meta. Meta's down. We got Amazon. Amazon's up. We got Nvidia, Apple, Amazon, Meta, Microsoft. Microsoft's up big. Microsoft's up to 498. So we got Microsoft, Amazon, Nvidia, and Meta. All right, at least Amazon, Microsoft, Nvidia, Netflix, they're all up. So 4 out of 7 are up since the opening bell. Programming, Vin. Like React Native, JavaScript stuff. All right, so here's the pullback. Finally. Nvidia up to 160s. I'm going to get out of here, guys. Listen, y'all have a safe 4th. Y'all be careful. All my U.S. friends, be careful. Have a safe 4th of July. Y'all be good. Again, if you want to check out Top Step, if you want to learn to day trade, just try Top Step. It makes more sense than funding your own account 5, 10, 20, 30 grand. I can't guarantee anything, and most day traders lose money. Doesn't matter what course you take, who you follow. Most day traders are going to lose. It's a lot cheaper, frankly, most of the time to lose on Top Step. The base $50 a month challenge teaches you how to trade under pressure. Most day traders lose their first couple accounts, so you can either fund your own account or you can try this. I think this makes more sense. I'll see you guys later, though. Y'all be good. I appreciate the love. Thanks so much. Fun day today, man. We had a lot of people here, and NASDAQ, S&P breaking all-time highs, payroll data showing stronger labor market and all this stuff. So y'all be good. I'll see you guys later. Y'all be safe. Be careful this weekend. Love to everybody. I'll see you guys later.